So we move on to the next presentation by Matteo Vinci on EMODnet Chemistry and the marine litter data management.
Yeah, we're on time. We're on time. We're still ahead. And how is going for the full screen?
Yeah, but the right side.
I don't see the full screen.
On the right side, you have 5, 6 buttons there. One of them should be this one.
Sorry, but I don't see it.
Over the plus, you have the plus, and there is a symbol, I think.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
full screen mode, the last one.
Thanks, Charles.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, well, good afternoon. For who don't know me, I'm Matteo Vinci from OGS Trieste, Italy, and together with my colleagues from the Institute, the Consortium of EMODnet Chemistry, and the international colleagues that are listed here, we would like to present you this marine litter data management in EMODnet Chemistry, talking about how lessons learned in EU contribute to develop a global scale litter data management. Here, the outline of my presentation. We will see some general information about EMODnet Chemistry, and then we will go straight to the pillars and the lesson learned of our data management experience. We will start with a short recap of consolidated workflows format that were chosen were available from best practices. Then we will see quality controls, talking about pre-ingestion and post-ingestion activities. And for post-ingestion, we will talk about the aggregated collection generation and the data product generation. And as last, we will see the interactions and the outcomes with the EU and the global stakeholders. So EMODnet is data management infrastructure at European level. There are several lots, as you heard, and between them we are the chemistry one. And we are dealing with the collection, standardization, quality check, and aggregation of marine data that can be relevant for the EU marine directives, but also for the global challenges. We are dealing with contaminants, eutrophication, and since 2016 with specific topic of marine litter. The network is pretty wide. The consortium is made of 45 scientific institutes and data management experts from 27 countries, and there are 5 international organizations participating. Let's shift our focus now to the marine litter data consolidated workflows, the aggregated formats, and their sources. In these years, we developed some workflows. So when we receive the litter data, we have a straight path for the metadata management that is going directly to the common data index system for the description and publishing of them. While then, for the specific topics of data that are the beach litter, the seafloor litter from trawling, and the microlitter data coming from floating litter and sediment litter, we have specific workflows. So for the beach litter data, we go through the agreed guidelines and format that were inspired by consolidated protocols and communities like the OSPAR, UNEP, UNEP Marlin, TGML, and then we go directly to our centralized database. For the seafloor litter trawling data, we go again through agreed guidelines and formats that were based on consolidated experiences and best practices like the ICES, MEDITS, and the fish gear. While for microlitter data, where the data management experience found was more heterogeneous and not so well consolidated, we created a new ASCII format that is the litter ODV1, and the data are going in the distributed infrastructure of the National Oceanographic Data Centers. Let's skip now to the quality control workflow, talking about the pre and the post-ingestion phase. You can see here that in the upper left picture, we are talking about the quality workflow about beach and seafloor trawling litter, while in the picture on the bottom right side, we are talking about the microlitter from floating and sediment. Basically, for both the workflows, we have more or less the same phases that are consolidated now. So we are formatting the data through the agreed guidelines and format using tools to make this work easier when they are available. Then we have a strong focus on the pre-ingestion validation phase, because this phase is streamlining a lot our activities and ensuring the quality of data. For this reason, we are continuously updating our validators, upgrading them due to our experience with the marine litter data gained in these years. When the data are validated, are considered okay, they are then ingested in our database or in the distributed network of the National Oceanographic Data Centers, and then we can have also some further additional quality controls in the post-ingestion phase, like, for example, the aggregated collection generation and the product generation. Let's see the aggregated collection phase now as further post-ingestion quality control phase. For beach and seafloor litter, what we are doing is that we are using a new Python tool that was developed specifically for the data aggregation phase. So we are aggregating the data sets and revalidating them. And in this phase, it is possible to find quality gaps and updated needs. So we are correcting the errors, gaps, or anomalies found in agreement with the data originators. While for microlitter aggregated collection, we are using mainly the ODV software. Again, also here we are making correction of errors, anomalies, and we correct this in agreement with the data originators. There is also a strong work of harmonization in this phase that is done, for example, for the unit conversion, using the information that is described in the P06 vocabulary, or the merging of homogeneous parameters was possible following the description that is present in the P01 vocabulary, or sampling effort harmonization into two main categories that are the distance in kilometers and the volume of filtered water in liters. Of course, we are publishing the result of these aggregated datasets, and presently we are exploring more automatic ways to access and deliver these data products, for example, with AirDAP. We say that also the data product generation can be a relevant phase for the post-ingestion quality control because it can highlight errors and anomalies as in the previous phase, but it's also really important to be able to highlight relevant features of the phenomenon that we are analyzing. Because if the data are well managed, for example, according to the INSPIRE and FAIR principle, then it's possible to drill down and analyze them showing the features of the data. So for example, for beach litter, in the left side, we can be curious to show where the European beaches are surveyed for the macro litter, and we can find an easy, a simple way to show this. But we can be even more curious, for example, and we want to know how much are surveyed these beaches along the EU coast. And we can find a nice and simple, a clear way to show this phenomenon. And we can further drill down, and maybe we will be curious to know where some kind of single-use plastics, like the plastic bag, are distributed along the EU coast. And the same is for seafloor trawling litter. We can show the trawling location on the seafloor, we can show where are located the fishing items, like the ghost nets, or specific single-use plastics, like the plastic bag in the seafloor bottom of EU. Now we are going to talk about the EMODnet Chemistry interaction within the expert groups and community, and I would like to start with the European part of these collaborations, starting with the strong collaboration that we have with the technical group on marine litter. In this collaboration, the consortium of EMODnet Chemistry is making the collection, the standardization, the analysis, quality control, and at the end, sharing through the National Oceanographic Data Centers that are supporting the EU member states. So we can provide harmonized data set for the assessment of litter abundance, as for example, making baselines, trends, analysis of distribution. For baselines, for example, for beach litter, we have been able to publish already in 2019 a first EU marine beach litter baselines, while for seafloor and microliter, there is an ongoing work about this. While for trend, since we already published the baselines for beach litter, there is an ongoing work to calculate the trends along the period about the litter in the beaches along EU. But in this collaboration, there is also space for new approaches. And for example, I'm talking about the International Expert Group for Seafloor Litter Images Data Management. About this topic, there is an ongoing data management proposal to upgrade and to implement, because the TGML goal here is to have an integrated monitoring approach that is merging together the seafloor images with the seafloor trawlings. Here I would like also to cite the relevant collaboration that we had in participation with the EuroCuCharm project, that is a coordination and support action presently finished. This one was for analyzing, evaluating, harmonizing existing methodologies for plastic pollution assessment at European level. And the simple but really relevant outcome was that data management can provide a harmonized framework for data reporting, but cannot alone address the imbalance and heterogeneities due to not comparable monitoring methods. And for this reason, this is providing a great boost on quality assurance and quality control information management, improving this for better data comparability, more specifically for microliter. And as last, here the collaborations and interaction with the global groups, starting with the UNEP Global Partnership on Plastic Pollution and Marine Litter. We are interacting mainly in community of practices for data and product sharing. Recently, they finalized and published their first microliter floating microplastic indicator that was built with a dataset from EMODnet, so EU, MOEGI, that is Ministry of Environment Japan, and NOAA from USA. In the right side, you have a preview of this indicator. Then we have the strong interaction with the Ministry of Environment Japan with their G20 microliter prototype group. We are asked to provide our expertise as marine litter manager. And recently, they also published their Atlas of Ocean Microplastic called AOMI. You have a preview of it on the right side, on the bottom of this slide. Between this collaboration, there is also IMDOS, not IMDIS, the crazy word of acronyms, sorry. It is another global community that is actively contributing and facilitating in all the previous activities. And I would like to conclude with this sentence that I like a lot in the last period. Is from P.J. O'Rourke saying that everyone wants to save the world, but no one wants to help mom to do the dishes. And I think that there is a great parallel in the global issue of the marine litter, and is a way from my side to thank all the people that are acting with their, let's say, small steps and maybe not so visible tasks that are contributing to tackle this global issue. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Matteo, for this inspiring presentation. Is there any question? Yes.
Yes, Bente Liljaby, Norway, not a member of EU. I noticed that you showed a map of the European coast. Now, EMODnet is a European service, but on the maps, some on your slides, we saw that it was probably the economic zone of Norway that was not included. Is that, obviously it's on purpose, but have you discussed? I mean, the litter is not really seeing the borders, so it could be useful even for the European Union to include it. Have you had the discussion about this?
I would reply saying that from our point of view, as EMODnet Chemistry will be, of course, important, but we have to consider that we are interacting with the TGML official group that is considering, let's say, only the EU countries. So it will be really useful, at least for EMODnet Chemistry, but we will have to see for EU TGML, which will be the case.
Yes, just to add, I mean, EMODnet Chemistry has a data infrastructure, is covering also all European seas and not EU, not with no difference. But when we go to work for the Marine Strategy Framework Directive, in that sense, it is applied to EU member states. So, but this is a focused activity that we do together with the technical group on marine lit.
Any more questions?